Hi everyone, welcome to another video by Optionables. My name is Saket, and in this video we are going to look at what exactly happened to the markets today and what we can expect from the markets tomorrow, as well as what exactly happened to our trades. So today, while the market opened, so there was no stability in the market. So the market actually opened around 100-120 points gap up, and immediately there was a sell-off. But as we moved towards the afternoon session, so there was a news that Russia has slowly started to withdraw its troops from the border. So this was a very positive news for the market, because if Russia is withdrawing the troops, that means Russia is not interested in the war. And Russia also told that the drill was complete and they were pulling back the troops. And this was more than enough to cheer the markets. And immediately the buying started around the afternoon session. The market bottomed out somewhere around 16,800 and the buying started coming in. And within few hours, market rallied close to 500 points. So there was continuous buying across all the sectors. So primarily it was auto sector. You can see Tata Motors was up by almost 6%. Hero Motors was up by 5%, Bajaj Auto was up by 3%. So auto sector saw huge buying, followed by banking sector, which also saw very good buying. All the sectors together gained somewhere close to 2 to 3% on an average, and Nifty itself was up by close to 3%. So if you see from yesterday to today, Nifty fell 500 points and today it was up 500 points. And in such a market, it is very difficult to take a non-directional positional trade. So if you had done a short straddle or a short strangle, yesterday Bank Nifty was down by almost 1,300-1,400 points, and today no one would have expected a jump of close to 1,300 points from yesterday's close. So even if you look at Bank Nifty, it rallied intraday high to low. The rally was close to 1,700 points. So this is absolutely massive. This is constituting to somewhere close to 4 to 4.5% intraday movement. And the thing is, if you look at the short straddle, it's hardly factoring in around 1.5-2%. Both short straddles put together is trading around 600 points. And it is not even factoring 2%. And here we have Bank Nifty, which is moving 4% intraday. The same case can be seen in Nifty also. Nifty short straddle is hardly factoring in close to 250-300 points, and Nifty is moving 500 points intraday, and the volatility right now is at its peak. So yesterday I also wanted to mention this, but I forgot. In such a market, technicals or open interest is not going to work, because it is mainly sentiment driven. So yesterday there was a bad news, the market fell, and today there is a good news, there is immediate buying and the markets went up. So in such a market, usually you don't expect technicals or open interest to work, because it's mainly driven by sentiment. So if you look at European markets right now, so even Europe is up by close to 1 to 2%, and all the indices are trading in green, and even the US futures is indicating a positive start. So what really depends now is how exactly the events are going to pan out in the upcoming days. So in case if Russia actually starts to withdraw everything, then what we saw right now can be the bottom for the short term, that is 16,800. In case if the war fear comes back, then we can see 16,800 being retested by the markets. So if you see from past 15 days, especially during the budget, Bank Nifty was around 38,000, and even now it remains to be around 38,000. Or forget about budget, even if you take the monetary policy, Bank Nifty was around 38,000, it continues to be around 38,000. Nifty was around 17,700 during the monetary policy day, but today it is trading around 17,300. So we can clearly see some relative strength being seen in banking as well as finance companies. And even Bajaj Finance as well as Bajaj Finserv did extremely well today. Both were up by 5%, and by that, Bajaj Finance has now become the most valued NBFC stock. It has overtaken HDFC as the top non-banking financial company right now in terms of market value. So with this, now we'll be moving on and looking at what exactly happened to our trades. So positional trade, we had to book with small 50,000 profit, even though the market came back where we wanted. So yesterday we had done some adjustments and the bounce back was very severe. So if market had bounced just around 500-600 points, we would be in a very favorable position. But unfortunately, the bounce was close to 1,300 points and it was well beyond our control. And we exited the entire position with a profit of 50,000. So M2M of 50,000. So overall trade was in a loss. But the thing is, intraday we were able to make another close to 1.3 to 1.5 lakh. So overall we ended with 2.2 lakh positive for today. And now coming to the markets, as I told you, it is pretty hard for us to guess what is the nearby support or what is the nearby resistance, because the market right now is extremely volatile. In such a volatile market, when we don't even know what is the direction because it's going up, coming down, so there is a lot of confusion, it is always good to have low position size. So if you see even yesterday, even though market went completely against us and we were having a naked short straddle, we just lost 1% of our capital in spite of a 3% fall in Nifty as well as Bank Nifty. So it's always good to have low position size, and right now we are doing more of intraday because carrying positions overnight is also risky, and the market is the trend of the market is still unknown. So that's the reason I will just show you the recording of the intraday trade and what exactly happened to that. So we will also try to have a broader view of the market, as it is difficult to have a specific view in the market right now. And with this, we'll now be quickly moving on to the video and see what happened to our intraday trades. And meanwhile, if you are liking the content, then don't forget to hit the like button, share this video, as well as subscribe to Optionables. Thank you so much for joining, guys. Hi everyone, welcome to the video. So before we go and see what exactly happened to our intraday trades, so first we'll discuss about the market outlook, and later we'll be shifting towards the intraday trade. So as you can see here, today we booked an MTM of close to 2.3 lakh. So first we'll be discussing about what exactly we can expect from the market. First, I will try to take a broader view of the market and see what exactly is happening. We'll be looking at both the charts as well as open interest. But as I already mentioned, we can't rely on charts or open interest too much in this particular situation, because market is moving more on sentiments rather than technicals or data. So if you look at the markets today, so let me just jump to the daily chart, as that gives us a better perspective. So on daily charts, we can quite clearly see that the market is taking multiple supports at the range of 16,800. So it's not just once. So on daily chart, you can see almost from November 2021, we have seen the market taking support around 16,800 and bouncing back. Especially today, so this is a very positive candle for Nifty. But again, we can't rely much on technicals, so we'll be going more towards the shorter term. So in shorter term, you can see that the market was extremely positive towards the afternoon session. But is it going to be short-lived, or is the rally going to continue, is something which the market itself should tell us tomorrow. But even if we have to take a technical view, so I would take 17,500 on the upper side and 17,000 on the lower side for at least next 1 to 2 days. So we see that the PCR ratio is 0.8, and there is a lot of call writing at 17,500, 600 as well as 700. So we can see some profit booking coming in when the market moves up towards 17,500, and similarly as we move down, we can also find some support towards 17,000. So broadly, this is what the open interest data is also suggesting us. But as I mentioned, so I'm expecting a range between 17,000 to 17,500. So let's see how it goes. Based on how the market is moving every day, 300, 400 points, won't be surprised if any of these levels get taken out tomorrow itself. So now we'll also take a quick look at Bank Nifty and see what exactly that suggests. So when we look at the overall index on the chart, so let me just come to daily chart. So you can again see there are multiple supports taken by Bank Nifty at 36,500. So that is definitely going to be a very good support for the short run. And on the higher end, we can see some resistance coming in around 39,000. Let's also take a quick look at the OI. So the PCR ratio right now is 1, which means it's very indecisive. So we don't know whether the market is bullish or bearish. But we have some good support coming in at 37,000 and some very strong resistance coming in at 38,500 as well as 39,000. So how long will this 38,500 be a good resistance is still not known, because tomorrow if we see a huge up move, then pretty sure there's going to be strong put writing at lower levels. So let's see how exactly the market will move. Even US is going to act as a key indicator as to how exactly we are going to open tomorrow. So today's intraday trade was fairly simple, so I didn't take a lot of entries. So morning, as you can see here, let me just pause the video. Around 9:30, I entered 16,950 short straddle. So this was the short straddle which I entered. The market is also trading around 16,950 itself, as we can see here. And unfortunately, the market first starts to dip. So before there was this buying which comes in, the market first dips. So while the market dips, my stop loss on the put side actually gets triggered. So let me just move little ahead. As the market starts to fall, so around 10:10, you can see that my stop loss on the put leg has been triggered, because the market has fallen close to 100 points. So the market made a low of around 16,830 if I'm not wrong, and it fell close to 100 points and my stop loss got triggered. So once my stop loss got triggered, I had kept a stop loss at 200. So now I'm only left with my call leg. The idea what I had was fairly simple. So I'm going to lose max of 2 lakh today. So per day my max loss is going to be 2 lakh. And second, what I'm going to do is, in this trade, I'm going to lose max of 1.2 lakh. So around 1 to 1.2 lakh is going to be my max loss from this trade. So I will also get an opportunity to take one more trade if something goes wrong. So that means if Nifty is going to bounce back, then I'm going to exit this call leg once I hit a max loss of close to 1 to 1.2 lakh. So the idea is I'll be getting one more opportunity to take an entry at either 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock. And unfortunately for me, it doesn't take a lot of time before that actually happens. So let me just move little ahead. So you can see that around 11:30 here, the stop loss also ends up getting triggered. So let me just move ahead. So here the stop loss is triggered, but the thing is, as you can see this particular position has been triggered in regular, and the product here was intraday. So more or less I have the same position, just that this particular thing is in regular and this is in intraday. So I'm going to convert it little later. So you can see that I have booked everything at a loss of 1,12,000. So my profit or loss is not going to change anymore, because I have finished booking this leg. So that means now at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, I will end up taking one more trade. So I have another 80,000 as my buffer to take one more trade and go wrong. So let me just start moving ahead. So you can see that even though the market is moving, my M2M still remains to be the same. So let me move towards 12 o'clock, and at this time I end up converting my leg from regular to intraday, and the positions get nullified. So this is the booked position up till 11 o'clock. By 12 o'clock, I take a new entry, that is 17,050 short straddle. So you can see that the market is also around 17,050, and I also end up taking 17,050 short straddle. So I totally enter around 3,000 quantity. So by 12:10, I end up adding around 3,000 quantity. And now my idea is fairly simple. The moment I'm going to hit an overall loss of 2 lakh, I'm going to exit all the positions. So until then, I'm going to hold the remaining positions, and let me just quickly start moving ahead until my C leg triggers the stop loss. So from here, the market just starts going up, and within some time, my C leg ends up triggering the stop loss. So as we move towards 130, so you can see by 130, my loss has actually come down from 1,10,000 to 88,000, and even my C leg has actually triggered the stop loss. So right now the market actually looked pretty bullish to me. So that's the reason I also add some additional P legs. And you can see that as the market is shooting up, my loss is coming down from negative 1,12,000. We have already come to negative 60,000. So I just hold on to this position, just that I add another 500 more quantity to make this 4,000 overall. So let me just skip towards the end. So as we come towards the end, so you can see at this particular point, so I have 4,000 quantity and this leg has dropped down to 38 rupees. So when I initially shorted this was around 140 rupees. When I added additional legs, it was around 80 rupees. Right now, it has come down to just around 38 rupees. So as we move on, by 3 o'clock, let me just move a little back. So at this particular point, as you can see that I end up booking all my trades, and this I book at an average price of close to 37 rupees. And overall, I book a M2M or a profit of 1.2 lakh from my intraday trade. And from my positional trade, which I was carrying yesterday, I ended up booking another 1 lakh. So all to all put together, we made a total profit of close to 2.26 lakh for today. So this was the intraday trade as well as what exactly happened to our trade. So the key learning from this trade is just that we held on to the positions and we were also pretty focused on our risk management. So we exactly knew that we are not going to let our loss cross 2 lakh. And in the first trade, we did a good decision by partially booking our loss at 1 lakh. So we had room to take one more trade and end in profit. So that was the key learning for this trade, and I also hope that you guys have liked this video. If so, then please do hit the like button, share this video and subscribe to Optionables. Thank you so much for joining.